boys.
Yeah.
No, carry on.
Yeah,
Sorry, no.
in the news, the elimination diets, which is a big, we're definitely against it as personal trainers. I think
This is the one I really want to hear his thoughts on, because I know Tim, you're a very opinionated fella.
Yeah,
So,
well, certain things I am.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard about it? Has it been in the news? It's been in the news quite a bit. Elimination
It's
diet.
always in and
It's
out of the
always
news.
all over the internet at the moment.
But
I
then
checked it out.
diets are full stop, aren't they?
Yeah, they always have been.
Express your
Probably
feelings.
Always will be.
Yeah.
Express your
I
feelings.
actually know someone who is a personal trainer,
Right.
not Nuki, around the St Austell area, who advocates and thinks that the elimination diet is the bee's knees. And for anyone who doesn't really know what the elimination diet is, you have to eliminate certain food groups or food types from your diet. And they tend to be carbohydrates, quite a lot of fats, sugar, alcohol. I think yeast is one of them, and certain dairy products. Now, to me, that takes quite a lot of stuff that's enjoyable to eat.
Yeah, straight away. Yeah.
The idea is that they think that with the elimination diet, especially with carbohydrates, that we do eat too many carbohydrates. And to a certain extent, I do agree with that, because your body will only store X number of calories worth of carbohydrates.
Sure. Yeah.
And once you've stored them, if you're not using them, the rest of them will go on as fat. So I think there is a call for reducing your amount of carbohydrates, but eliminating them completely is an utter waste of time. For me, the word diet is completely incorrect. It should be a lifestyle change.
Yeah, because all these little sort of like advertising, aren't they? Marketing opportunities and diets.
Yeah, and also, if you don't exercise that much, then you need to reduce your intake. If you exercise a lot, you should be increasing your intake, especially carbohydrates, because carbohydrates are the number one fuel for the body.
Yeah.
And it's one of the only substances that will fuel your brain. And I think you had that on your website.
We had it on our Facebook.
On your Facebook, I saw that.
Dan put that on.
Yeah.
I think with like the whole idea of it, it's all these diets. My mum does a load of diets. My sister's getting married next year, and she's starting quite a few diets as well. They're just trying to get slim, but you can never really keep them up or maintain them. You keep swapping and changing. So, as a personal trainer, obviously an experienced man of yourself, what would be the best advice you would give for someone who is trying to lose weight?
I would look at, it's all expenditure versus intake.
Yeah.
If you want to lose weight, you need to be expending more than you are putting in your body.
Yeah.
And if you want to gain weight, you need to put in more than your body than you're expending.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where those calories come from. Your obviously you have to have a balanced diet to get all the right vitamins and nutrition, minerals, all those things. But, at the end of the day, someone technically could, if they were burning 2,000 calories a day, they could eat a 1,500 calorie pizza, which isn't particularly healthy, but there's a deficit of 500 calories. So surely they are going to lose some weight if they are, exercising as well.
So you want to kind of look after yourself, obviously eat well,
Yeah.
but if you're going to do a lot of exercise, then you kind of have to balance that with the right diet.
And then adjust meals. So if you go out and have a massive curry on a night, the next day you adjust what you've eaten.
Yeah.
And I always think as well, you should, when you exercise, on the days you exercise, eat more. On the days you don't exercise, eat slightly less.
There's something that you said once, Tim, which is quite good. How if you're cutting out certain things in your diet, and you go back to that later on, maybe half a year later, then you're just going to return to your normal self again in a short amount of time.
And there was a program, I think, a while ago about all what they called like Slimming World winners, and they had like the sort of the winner of the winner, the best slimmer in the country over the last 10 years, and only one of those in the last 10 years has maintained their weight loss. The rest have put their weight back on and more. Yeah. Because the interesting thing is, once you put weight on, you've got fat cells in your body. You're born with a certain number of fat cells, and your fat cells are like empty buckets, and they fill up with fat. And when they're full up, your body then makes new fat cells to fill up. So what happens is, when you go on a diet, your body just empties those fat cells out of fat, but those fat cells still remain there.
Yeah.
So once you have been overweight, there's a likelihood that you could return to it if you went back to that original sort of habit or diet that you had before.
See, the sort of advice I'm giving out at the moment is helping clients work out their BMR.
Yeah.
Obviously, timesing it by what ratio we need to, and then just having a look, not being obsessive about it and looking, there's so many calories in here, but kind of being a general outlook, and then looking at what exercises they do each week. And I try and get them to do, because obviously a couple of them train me twice a week, but when they're not, doing other exercises during the week, so they can kind of counter what they're eating and obviously what they're taking. So would you suggest that, to a client, just
Definitely, yeah.
BMR and etc.?
Yeah, you need to work out what you roughly need for your body to function, and
Sure.
then add a certain amount on there depending on the level of exercise that you're doing.
My mum is currently on a diet now, right? And she's on the phone.
Is that what you're doing? 'Cause you've been trying
I've
to
got
get
my mum on
for
the
ages. I
phone.
thought you were
Right,
just being
Mum,
rude.
you're live on the podcast, all right?
Hillary.
Oh, we got
Right,
her on
Mum.
the line.
Hello.
Right, you're live on the podcast.
Hi, Hillary.
Hello, Hillary.
Hello,
Hello.
there.
Hi.
What?
Thank you for all the warning, lads.
Yeah. I promised I'd give you a warning, but we haven't. All right, so right, we're talking about diets this week, yeah. And you're doing a diet, aren't you?
Oh, thanks. Just tell the nation that I'm a fatty. That's great.
Go on. What's the name of the diet then, Mum?
Rosemary Conley.
What was that?
What was
Rosemary
it?
Connolly.
Rosemary Connolly, is that?
Rosemary Conley, yes.
What's that
it is.
consist of?
Yeah,
Um,
and like we've talked about the diets on the podcast. We've talked about the elimination diet, which Dad did the Atkins, didn't he?
no, he has done that in the past, but he did, it was a Cambridge diet.
All right, did the
that
Cambridge,
He did.
which is even worse.
Yeah, he did that, but he has to work very hard to keep the weight off, and that's the crux of it, I think. But
Yeah, and like in Dad, you,
great for short-term loss, but maintenance is difficult.
yeah, but you noticed a change in Dad, didn't you?
It's a
He
short-term
had
fix.
bad sort of anger, and he was like stressed and stuff when he was on the diet because of the sort of lack of like nutrients and stuff that he needed. You sort of noticed a big sort of change in his personality.
I did notice a change in his personality. I'm not sure I might get sued if I associate that with the with the diet. I don't know whether he's just missing his chocolate and his carbohydrates, but I would say that any diet that focuses on one element of nutrients can't be natural and good for you long term.
She knows her stuff.
Short
Yeah,
term,
you know your stuff, don't you, Mum?
but not long term.
Right, so
If you miss it.
this Rosemary Connolly one you're on now, that's a lifestyle change diet, isn't it? Because you're not taking food out of the equation. You're getting food advice from her, aren't you?
That's my interpretation of what I'm doing. It's eating foods that are below 5% fat, having 3 regular meals a day plus 2 healthy snacks, and proportioning your calories per meal they're set. I think it's something like 200 for breakfast, 3 for lunch and 4 for your evening meal, and it's amazing actually how much you can have for that amount of calories. So cut down on the meat and increase the vegetables. So for me, instead of eating crisps on the way home from work because I've starved all day, and having 3 meals a day instead of keeping metabolism going, it's got to be healthier.
Yeah, so
in the
you've
long
just
run.
you've just been made aware basically of what healthier eating is. You've just got more awareness of what you should be eating, how much you should be eating, and the sort of fat content you should be eating, really, haven't you?
Yeah, I think so. It is just raising awareness, but they also run an aerobics class as well. So you sort of have your class and you do
So you get the
about
right mix.
50 minutes
Yeah.
of aerobics as well as part of your class. So when you go along, you've come out, sort of having some advice. You've had your weigh-in, but you've also done 50 minutes of cardiovascular and stretching, some aerobics and stretches as well at the same time. So you get to do both. So that's at least one evening a week that you've done exercising. But you've got to exercise as well as eat healthily.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thanks,
on the show
Hillary.
then.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well,
I love you.
all right.
Oh,
See you later.
sorry, Dan.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. That was in depth.
Cool.
That was good though.
Yeah.
Knows her stuff,
She
yeah.
knows her stuff.